Yeah. Testing. Hold up. Let me make sure we Gucci. Testing. Let's see if I can hear myself. Test. Oh yeah. I think we good. What's good, TA drinkers? Hold on. I'm just making sure the audio is fire. On my end. You know what I'm saying? I think we good though. Yeah. Alright, so boom, yo, TA drinkers was good. Yo, we gotta have a quick chit chat. Boom. We gotta have a quick chit chat because I gotta dip. But before I dip, let's break down some of the nonsense that's being spewed out of people who follow basketball. Basically, the Greek freak Giannis Antetokounmpo supposedly wants to play for a different team. Supposedly, he might be interested in getting traded. Supposedly. I'm going to get into why it's supposed. Because from what I've seen, when people ready to dip, they really show you the full dip move. Right now, he ain't really showing a full dip move. But by the way, I just wanted to mention, welcome to another live installment of TellEmAlejandro, your number one place for sports, cars, video games, fitness. If you're a man, you're here. On this side, you already know, we bleed that orange and blue. Ooh! So that's why it's mad lit to hear that one of the teams that the Greek freak might be interested in playing for is my New York Knicks. So boom, check this out. First off, let me pull up the report so you can see what I'm talking about, all right? This happened 2 days ago. Shout out to my man's Shams Charania. He be covering basketball. He's a good plug, all right? So boom. Oh, I got a picture. I was going to go through all this stuff, but boom, I don't even need to do all that. So boom, Shams Charania had tweeted out 2 days ago, boom, just in, the Greek freak Giannis Antetokounmpo and his agent Alex Saratsis, sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly, have started conversations with the Milwaukee Bucks. That's the same team that Giannis plays for. About the two-time NBA MVP's future and discussing whether his best fit is staying or elsewhere. Sources tell ESPN. A resolution is expected in the coming weeks. Now, boom, check this out. First things first. On December 15th, right, in the NBA, that's when mad, contracts that can't be traded right now become eligible to be traded, okay? As far as, contracts that were signed over the summer during the off season when people couldn't dip yet. Well, no, not when people couldn't dip yet. When people were dipping. When people were dipping, people signed their new contracts, and one of the rules of the NBA is, hey, they got to be there for a certain period of time. Boom, I just got exploded on. Damn, that sucks. So, boom, December 15th is the earliest I would expect any trade to happen for the Greek freak due to the fact that more people become available via trade. You understand what I'm saying? So, boom, with that being said, hearing Giannis is interested in playing for my team, supposedly, that obviously makes me happy. I'm a fan of my team who wants to see them win an NBA championship. It's basically never happened. It happened in the 70s. I didn't exist, so why would I care, right? With that being said, the Greek freak could help me get that goal that I've dreamed of seeing my team win the whole thing. Let me see if I can move my camera to the side because I ain't gonna lie. My health is at the top left. And I can't see if I'm gonna die or not. Ooh, move camera. There we go. Boom, I'm on the other corner. So boom. With that being said, it's gonna be tough for the Knicks to do this trade for the Greek freak due to the fact that boom, everybody else in the league is gonna want to trade for Giannis. Duh. That's number one. And number two, you don't want to trade for Giannis and get rid of everything that you have, which is what the Milwaukee Bucks are gonna ask for naturally, right? Because then you would end up being the same team that the Greek freak is getting traded away from. He supposedly wants a trade because the team is underperforming. And the reason why I say supposedly is because, I'll give you an example. When Anthony Davis got traded away from the team that he was playing for, the team that drafted him, he wore a shirt on the last day of the season. The shirt, just like if you ever seen Bugs Bunny, Elmer Fudd, it said giggity giggity, giggity giggity. That's all, folks. He was not playing. He was ready to get traded. He was dipping. You understand what I'm saying? When somebody's dipping, Sometimes you gotta make it a little nasty. You gotta make it a little bit ugly. And so far, the Greek Freak has not came out and verbalized, I want to dip. This place sucks. You understand what I'm saying? And that helps when you're trying to get traded because of two reasons. I'll explain. Number one, if a player comes out and demands a trade, then an organization could trade that player wherever they want to trade him to, okay? They're going to take the best trade package available, okay? And for Giannis, you can get a lot of stuff because he's a beast. He's one of the best players in the league. AD wanted to play on the Lakers. He was entering the last year of his contract. He has leverage. So he's going to tell the team that he's currently on, trade me to the team that I want to play for. That's the only team that I'm going to be willing to sign a contract extension with. What does that do? That devalues every other team's trade offer because now they would be trading for a lemon. They would be trading for a one-year rental. A lot of people are not going to want to give up chunky assets, sexy assets to do that. You understand what I'm saying? So to me, it's important for the Greek Freak to let his nuts hang, bro, and be like, yo, Milwaukee, trade me to the Knicks. It's the only place I'm willing to sign a contract extension, or else you got to flex your guns. He not doing that. So basically right now, if it's true that the Knicks are a team that he is willing to be traded to, supposedly, again, because he's not being a man, then the Knicks would have to pay top dollar to acquire him, which would weaken the Knicks. That's a bad move. Donovan Mitchell a few seasons ago was traded. He had 2 years left on his contract, like the Greek Freak does right now. Donovan Mitchell wanted to get traded to the Knicks. Donovan Mitchell currently plays on the Cleveland Cavaliers. He did not get traded to the New York Knicks because he wanted to get traded while he had years left on his contract, just like the Greek Freak. With that being said, yo, G Money, what's Gucci, boy? I'm about to read your comments. With that being said, Donovan Mitchell, the team that he was on, got sent to the team that was offering a good package. In my opinion, the Knicks were offering a better package. And the GM for the Utah Jazz, the team that Mitchell got traded from, was being spiteful. He didn't like how the negotiations went with the Knicks. He wanted to fleece the Knicks. And Leon Rose, the person doing the trade for the Knicks, wasn't with getting fleeced. So at the end of the day, they sent Mitchell elsewhere. And it worked out for Cleveland, who got a rental because Mitchell ended up signing an extension with them. He ended up liking it there. And basically, Giannis, in my opinion, is running the risk of getting traded to some place he may not want to be, like the New York Knicks, because he's not entering the last year of his contract. He doesn't have the leverage that you would have if you had no more years left in your contract. And by still trying to like be friendly with Milwaukee, it's like, if I'm Milwaukee, I'm going to be interested in the San Antonio Spurs offer because they got mad sexy draft picks. The Oklahoma City Thunder, you understand what I'm saying? I'm going to tell the Knicks, yo, give me everything. Give me Cat, give me Deuce, give me Hart, give me Bridges, give me OG, give me Big Mitch, give me whatever draft picks you have after the Brooklyn trade, and add 2 extra teams in it to facilitate extra stuff for me to get. If I'm Milwaukee, I'm going to try and rob the Knicks. I'm going to try and rug pull them. I'm going to hold them at gunpoint. It is what it is. And if I'm the Knicks, I don't want to do any of that. So, to me, I think Giannis is messing this trade up as far as getting it to go to the Knicks by not being a man and saying, yo, send me there or else. So, boom, G-Money, let me see what you're talking about, boy. You said, what's shaking it, baking, cool cats? What's Gucci, boy? How you feeling, son? I agree. It will be a huge puzzle to get Giannis to the Broadway for our Knickerbockers. That's a fact. It would be difficult because we don't want to weaken our team too crazy, but at the same token, we would be foolish to not take this opportunity to not just acquire a beastie talent, but acquire a beastie talent that actually supposedly wants to go to our team. Duh, you feel me? Then my boy G-Money was like, this is me, G-Money. Nah, you don't even got to tell me who it is. I already know. Bro, come on now. I know who it is. G-Money said, Bucks want a treasure chest of players and picks. Of course they do, as they should. If you was Milwaukee, if I was Milwaukee, if anybody was the Milwaukee Bucks and you got the Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and he wants to trade, you're going to trade for mad stuff. Hold on, let me get a sip of water. I would offer Cat. This is what G-Money said. He said he would offer Cat, Deuce, Dadier, which is a Frenchman, second-year player who don't be playing for the Knicks, and picks to get Greek Freak. G Money, I would offer that too. Would Milwaukee say yes to that? Hell no. So hold on, supposedly, we don't know what they would say yes or no to. If I'm Milwaukee and the Knicks offered me Cat, which is Karl Anthony Towns, Deuce, which is Miles Deuce McBride, and Pacome Dottie and draft picks, if I'm Milwaukee, I say no, because I think I can get more shopping Giannis elsewhere in the league. I'm just keeping it 100. I understand and agree with everything. Word, it's going to be difficult for us because, like I said, Giannis is basically putting us in a predicament where we have to give up mad stuff to get him. To somebody else, they would hear, give up mad stuff. It's Greek freak. You do that trade no matter what. But in reality, you don't, because already, as the Knicks are currently constructed, you're a contender in the East. I don't think you win the championship if you get to the end and you face a team like the Oklahoma City Thunder, who won the NBA championship last season. I do believe the Knicks would need somebody like a Giannis to, quote unquote, get over the hump. You understand what I'm saying? They would need a player like a Greek freak to beat OKC if the Knicks were to get to the finals, if the Knicks were able to win the East. But at the same token, if you get rid of so much, you basically got the same Bucks team, but you got Brunson instead of Lillard. And Brunson is better than Lillard was on the Bucks. You understand what I'm saying? That might not be enough. So boom, check this out. If I have to choose what I would give up to the Milwaukee Bucks as a Knicks fan, this is what I would pick. First things first, let me pull up some of these numbers. My boy G Money said, heck, if I am the Bucks, I would ask for Mike Breen, Clyde, and the Statue of Liberty if New York wants a part of the Greek Freak Pie. That's a fact. I'd ask for your commentators, the MSG channel, some of that revenue. You know what I mean? I'd ask for everything if I'm Milwaukee. And they got every right to. Giannis got 2 years left on his contract. Giannis don't got no leverage. Even though a lot of people who follow basketball talk about, oh, the organization got to do right by him. That place sucks. And he actually wanted to play there and stay there and took mad money to play there. And he helped them win a championship first time in a gazillion years. So, organizations are not loyal to players. Oh, well, in this predicament, it'd be different. No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. In this predicament, the Bucks are going to do what's best for the Bucks. And that's not take the trade that the Knicks would be offering. Unless the Knicks offer everything. Cat, Hart, Bridges, OG, Deuce, Big Mitch, and draft picks, plus more. And that's just too much for us. G Money was like, oh, I understand what you were saying. You are making a lot of sense. Yes. So, boom. Check this out. I'm going to pull up some of the contracts that the Knicks have on the books right now, because in order to do a trade, you have to give what you're receiving if you don't have any money available. And the Knicks currently do not have any money available. So, boom. Right now, the person who makes the most money on the Knicks is Karl Anthony Towns. He makes $53 million. Okay. Second is OG Anunoby. He makes $39.5 million. Third is our best player, Jalen Brunson, who makes $34.9 million. Fourth is Mikal Bridges, $24.9 million. Fifth is Josh Hart, $19.4 million. So, boom. Check this out. As a Knicks fan, I would not be willing to trade Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges is an Iron Man. Mikal Bridges does not miss games. And I am big on players who do not miss games. Play all the time. I'm big on that. Why? Because 2 seasons ago, not the season that just passed, but the season prior, my New York Knicks were good enough to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. This is the last year that Isaiah Hartenstein, who recently won an NBA championship with OKC last year, this is the last year that he was on the Knicks. And check this out. That season, the Knicks had not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, 6 players get injured while we were facing the Indiana Pacers, and we ultimately got eliminated. And in reality, 7 players were injured. I didn't even know, because one of them was playing with the injury, Deuce McBride. He ended up getting surgery and was on crutches and a walking boot after the season. Sorry. So with that being said, availability is the best ability. Mikal Bridges, 0 missed games in his NBA career. 0 missed games in his collegiate career. He doesn't miss games. Mitchell Robinson, the best offensive rebounder in the league, a beastie rim protector, solid screen setter, great Gotham lob threat. He's a game misser. I love him, but if I have to pick pieces that have to get traded, I would be more willing to move pieces that miss games. I want Mikal. He doesn't miss games. I want Big Mitch, but I have to offer Big Mitch. OG Anunoby, you make too much money to be missing games. Prior to signing you, I didn't want to give you the money that you're making now because you miss games. I seen the impact that OG brought to the game, not to the game, to this team after acquiring him, how good we became. But what does OG do? Right now, Knicks fans, you tell me, is OG playing? No. Why? He's out. Why? With an injury. You see what I'm saying? OG always misses games. So OG is another piece that I would be willing to trade for Giannis because he's a game misser. Now, Deuce is somebody that I want to keep. So in order for me to keep Deuce, I would have to offer Josh Hart. But here's why I would be willing to offer Deuce McBride. Because Deuce McBride's contract is coming up. And that's one of the reasons why my New York Knicks traded my favorite player on the Knicks at the time. Guess who? IQ, Emmanuel Quickley. Emmanuel Quickley's contract was coming up. And realistically, we could not afford to pay him. If I'm not mistaken, he makes right now more money than Jalen Brunson. Who's the better player? Jalen Brunson. Who has the better contract? Jalen Brunson, because he's less. He's more affordable on a winning team. Whereas IQ is making more on a team that's on the up and up. I ain't gonna lie. Toronto's playing good right now. But paying Quickley more money than Brunson is a losing method. So that's one of the reasons why IQ was traded. But that's also one of the reasons why Toronto traded OG, because OG's contract was coming up. With that being said, Deuce's contract is coming up for the Knicks. So if Deuce was in a Greek Freak trade, I wouldn't be mad about it. I would understand it. That's basically us admitting we won't be able to give him the money that he would make on the open market. So instead of losing him for nothing, you put him in a trade that could change your franchise for years to come. You see what I'm saying? So boom, with that being said, hold on, let me see what you're saying, boy. Let me see what you're saying. My boy G Money was like, I am glad that you understand and agree that the Bucks want a king's ransom for the Greek Freak. We need to cut an arm and a leg to get Giannis in orange and blue. Yes, we can't get the Greek Freak for free, which is what I would like to do, but that's not realistic. You're not gonna get no Luka trade here where you get a 20-something-year-old for a 30-something-year-old who's always injured up and is a game misser. That's not gonna happen here. You feel me? My boy G Money was like, Manhattan Iron Steel Bridges is my name for Mikal Bridges. Dude never misses games. Exactly. Now you see what I'm talking about. All them fire nicknames that you drop, it all makes sense because he does not miss games. There's so much value in having a player that doesn't miss games. That's why when I was looking back at so many people who was talking trash like, y'all gave up too much for Mikal Bridges. He's not worth 5 draft picks. At the end of the day, he doesn't miss games. He's a player that fits what that team needed. They needed a wing player, a versatile perimeter defender, a player who can space the floor and also create his own shot and also playmake for others when our main playmaker, Jalen Brunson, is resting. So Mikal Bridges was such a perfect fit. Not only that, he played with Brunson in college. So it was like a lot of people, I think, are being short-sighted in seeing, oh my God, you gave up 5 draft picks for Bridges? That's too much. You're not seeing the big picture. The big picture is, look at how far we got last year with Bridges. Look at Bridges' impact against the Boston Celtics last year in that series. Look at his impact in Game 1. How he had a defensive play to seal overtime. Look at his impact in possibly Game 2, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe it was against Detroit. I forgot. I think it was Game 2 where he had another defensive play to seal that game. Bridges has been everything that I've wanted. I love Mikal Bridges, and he is my second favorite Knick besides Jalen Brunson. I'm not trading him. If he was missing games, it'd be a different story because a lot of the stuff I just said about Bridges, I can say about OG too. But what OG be doing? OG be sitting next to me playing Streets of Rage, talking on TEA. You feel me? Instead of being in the game. That's what OG be doing. And I'm not knocking OG. I like OG, but bro, you make almost $40 million. You can't miss games no more. It's a wrap for that. But he's still gonna miss his games. So I'm gonna be willing to trade OG. I'm keeping it 100. My boy G Money was like, OG is a walking injury. Ironically, OG is suiting up tonight. Oh, for real? Hold on. Yeah. But speaking of suiting up tonight, let me see what games are going to be taking place tonight. Because, the Knicks are about to play. It's 6:38 right now in NYC. 7:30, the Knicks play against the Utah Jazz. The Knicks are favored by 15.5 points. I do not believe the Knicks will cover that spread. I think Utah's going to fight. Every time teams come into the Garden, which is where the game will be played tonight in New York, teams get additional energy because they don't get those kind of atmospheres elsewhere in this league. It's the only place you can get that atmosphere. The fans care extremely hard. They're extremely passionate. So I think Utah will keep this game within 15 points or less. We will see what's up, though. My boy Giannis was like, Yes, Bridges is up and down. Correct. Bridges is not always consistent. I agree. He is a hard worker and a workhorse. Dude had heart and was huge in the playoffs. Yes, he was. At certain times. Correct. Bridges also had big plays in Game 6 versus the Pistons. Yes, if I'm not mistaken, G Money, it was Game 6 against the Pistons where the play before Brunson hits the game winner, where he crosses up the Thompson twin and hits the three. The play before that, Bridges had a huge offensive rebound putback tip-in, which helped tie the game, if I'm not mistaken. Huge tip-in. That's just small stuff like that. It's like, bro, the fact that you don't even have to like draw up a play for him and he can still be impactful, that's just not somebody I'm willing to give up. And again, OG2 is a guy like that where I remember, we all can remember, the DiVincenzo 3, where we were down 5, I believe, against the 76ers. Maybe we were down 4, I don't remember. And basically, OG was a part of the Isaiah Hartenstein offensive rebound where OG helps secure the loose ball and he makes the extra pass to Dante DiVincenzo, who makes a historic 3-point shot for our team. So, boom. Dan Arsenal. What's good? Yo, what's good? Daniel, what's good, boy? You still here? Question mark? Yes, I'm still here. What you mean? I'm sexy, boy. Where do you think I'm going to go? You crazy, son. My boy G-Money was like, oh, yeah, he said Bridges also had big plays in Game 6 versus the Pistons, Games 1 and 2 versus the Celtics, and Game 3 versus the Pacers. I don't remember the Bridges Game 3 plays against the Pacers, G-Money, but what I do remember is Cat had a big fourth quarter. If I went and looked back at that game, I probably would see what you was talking about. But I do remember Cat saved us big time in that Game 3 fourth quarter. And Cat saved us big time, I believe, in maybe it was Game 4 against the Pistons, where he had a beastie maybe second half. I forgot, But ultimately, to do a Giannis trade, we would have to get rid of certain pieces that, as a Knicks fan, it would suck to do. I know a lot of people would think, so what? They suck. Giannis is better. It's not a so what, they suck, because if you're doing a trade to basically try and increase your championship winning chances, but you mess up, like, you get rid of the role players that help make you a championship contender, and you're going to end up over-relying on stars, then at the end of the day, you're not really doing nothing. You're not doing anything that's conducive to winning a championship. You're basically doing stuff that's good for selling tickets and good for getting people to talk about you. But I don't want people to talk about us. I want to win a championship. That's it. That's my dream. So hopefully the Knicks could trade for Greek Freak. But from where I'm sitting, I think the Milwaukee Bucks are going to trade Antetokounmpo to a different team, sadly. And I think the Knicks are going to miss out. But I do like that Leon Rose, the GM, the president, I believe, president or GM, I think that's the president of the Knicks. I do believe in him. I believe there's a method to his madness. I'm glad that he's the guy wheeling and dealing for the Knicks, and I trust him. If and when the deal gets done for the Knicks, I think it'll be a little bit closer to the trade deadline. The trade deadline is in February, around the All-Star break, probably around Valentine's Day. And one more thing that I need to point out before I dip. Hold on. Let me take a swig. Pause. No puffy. The last game that the Greek Freak played on his team right now, the Milwaukee Bucks, Greek Freak got injured. Whoa, we need to talk about that. So, boom, the Greek Freak got injured. He suffered I believe they're calling it a calf sprain. Yo, I'm getting my behind whooped by this dude. Goddamn. And basically, the calf sprain is a big-time injury because what is the calf attached to? The Achilles tendon. With that being said, we, being anybody who's a basketball fan, doesn't want to see the Greek Freak get injured up. We don't want to see... Hold on, ain't no we no more. Now I'm talking as a Knicks fan. I, as a Knicks fan, don't want to trade mad stuff for the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and have him be damaged goods. Are you kidding me? That'd be oh wow, she's whipping her own peoples. Yo, what type of crazy sex worker am I fighting right now? So boom, I would hate to do a trade for the Greek Freak and basically all of a sudden, keep in mind, this the Knicks we talking about. We don't have luck on our side. This is why we haven't won an NBA championship since 1973. The chances that the Greek Freak ruptures his Achilles after getting traded to the Knicks, it's possible. Don't get it twisted. So, you know what I'm saying? That's another reason why I'm not crazy about trading mad stuff for Giannis right now, because my team already, as is, could compete. I don't think they'll win the whole thing. But sheesh, who's to say that the Knicks won't get to the end, and then all of a sudden, whoever we facing in the end, they got an injury. Man, all of a sudden we get a nice little fake championship, and my dream comes true. I'm happy permanently for the rest of my life, no matter how I win the championship. I don't care how I get it. I just want it. You feel me? So, for that to happen, what do you need? If you've been paying attention to the NBA, ever since 2014, when the Spurs beat LeBron and the Miami Heat, every single year, what has won the NBA championship? DEPTH. Injuries. Who has more depth? Who has more bodies remaining? Not who's better. Only last year, we kind of got to see who's better. Kind of. You know why I say kind of? Because in Game 7, the Indiana Pacers got off to such a great start in the first quarter, and Tyrese Halliburton ruptured his Achilles. I don't know if OKC was going to win that game. That's the same injury that Giannis might be facing. Why would I want to deal with that? I was just talking to a friend of mine, and he's telling me, yo, you got to take that risk. It's Giannis. And I'm like, my brother, I wouldn't take that risk for Michael Jordan. The Achilles injury is the worst injury you could get in basketball. I know. I don't want to take that risk, bro. I'm sorry. It's not worth it to me. If Giannis has an Achilles that might be going, it's not worth the risk. So this is what I need to do now as a Knicks fan. I need to see the Greek Freak return from that injury, and I need to see him slowly worked back in to the swing of things. If I'm the Knicks, I'm not rushing to make that trade. I'm willing to wait until closer to February, the trade deadline. The reason why I say that is because, remember, I told you December 15th, that's a big day. That's when a lot of these contracts that got signed during the offseason gets activated to get flipped, a.k.a. cats is dipping. So we're going to see what's really Gucci, son. We're going to really see what's Gucci. Hold on, let me read what y'all was saying. Hold on, let me take a swig and read what y'all was saying. My boy Dan Arsenal. Are you an Arsenal fan, by the way, in football, Dan? He was like, LMAO, stay up, my guy. Oh, yeah, you already know, son. You already know how I do. Come on, son, stop playing. G-Money was like, Towns catapulted, and he's using the KAT, that's fire, us in Game 3 when we was down 20 against Indy. Yes, he definitely did. I ain't never going to forget that. I love Cat for that. And then G-Money was like, I say Giannis gets swapped to either the Thunder or the Rockets or Spurs or Raptors. Well, G-Money, I like the Greek Freak getting traded to the Spurs or OKC because I know they got mad assets. I'm not sure Houston can pull off a Greek Freak trade because they just traded for Kevin Durant, a.k.a. they got less equipment in the cabinet. You understand? They got rid of all their dishes. They got no more paprika, no more salt, no more pepper, no more ingredients. You feel me? The Houston Rockets are basically stuck with what they got. That's how I'm looking at it. We'll see. Dan Arsenal said they'll upgrade that to Achilles. That's the same thing I'm thinking. I'm thinking that calf sprain slowly is going to develop into an Achilles injury. At that point, it's not worth trading the Greek Freak while you giving up half your roster. That's crazy to give up half your roster or mad assets for a dude who's going to miss mad time. It's just not worth it. They do that all the time in soccer and NFL. Yes, they do. A sore Achilles, a calf sprain, all of a sudden, sore Achilles, all of a sudden, yeah, well, the back of his foot is knocking. All of a sudden, it's fully ruptured. And it's like, whoa, what happened? Use calf as a smoke screen. Yes. Every time I hear calf injury, I'm like, whoa. And here's the thing, Dan Arsenal. Giannis has had a calf injury for more than one season. That calf been acting funny, bro. Real talk. I don't know if y'all remember when Giannis won the NBA championship. He had gotten injured in that playoff run. I think he got injured either in Game 7 against the Atlanta Hawks, the round before the NBA Finals, or maybe it was in Game 6. His leg bent like there was no bone in his leg, bro. Like it was rubber in his leg. He rushed back. He played through the injury. He helped his team win the championship. But I've been seeing Giannis get nicked up ever since. We all know we got bones in our legs. Our legs ain't supposed to hyperextend like that. And you come back rushing to play. I don't know, bro. That might be damaged goods. I'm just keeping it 100. I'm worried. I'm worried about my team coughing up mad stuff for damaged goods. Remember, we don't have good luck. So I have to be pessimistic a little bit. Yeah, got back into cause my team finally got a squad. All right, Danny. I see what you're talking about. Arsenal cooking these days. All right, keep me posted, cause I'll be watching football. You feel me? I'll be watching football. I think yesterday I was watching Chelsea. Was it yesterday? Maybe if it wasn't yesterday, it was the day before. Chelsea got smoked. They lost, I think, 3-2. Who Chelsea got smoked by? Hold on, let me tell you. I was watching, I thought Chelsea was gonna win. Chelsea's whack, son. Yesterday, Man U was playing. Oh, Leeds. It was 3-1. Chelsea got smoked by Leeds, 3-1. I was like, what? And on that same day, Arsenal cooked 2-0 against Brentford. You know what I mean? Liverpool 1-1 against Sunderland. Yeah, I'll be tapped in, boy. And that same day, Real Madrid was giving somebody the beats. Holy. My boy Mbappe was going to work. You know what I mean? Arsenal, baby. Oh, yeah. Of course you rock with Arsenal. It's in your name. That makes sense. My boy G Money was like, if Giannis tears his Achilles, his career is over. Here's the thing, G Money. I lean more towards you're right than you're wrong, because the Greek Freak is the kind of player that's an athletic player. He's not like a Kevin Durant who has a jump shot, who's crazy wet. You feel me? A player like that, like a Jason Tatum, has skills. He has game. Tyrese Halliburton, he has skills. He has game. I'm not dissing a Greek Freak, but he got skills. Because he's not as raw as he was when he first came in the league. Uppercut, sure, or you can kill that hoe. My bad. So, boom. He got skills as far as, like, his IQ has increased as far as when he's the screen man and he rolls, if he gets the ball, boom, by the free throw line, he knows how to now make that one dribble, read the floor, read the extra help that's sliding over, and either make the extra pass to the shooter on the side or work around the dude that slid over the third helper, the third defender who slid over, work around him, get his Euro on, use that big body shoulder, boom, get the and one or finish, whatever. He's good with that as far as IQ is concerned, but he does not have a 1-2 dribble pull-up mid-range, a consistent wet back down in the post, turn around, Kobe Jordan turn around fade away. I seen the game-winning fade that he hit the earlier this season, if I'm not mistaken, but it's not consistent. He doesn't have a consistent wet go-to fade in the post like a DeMar DeRozan. You understand what I'm saying? Like a who can I think of right now? Like a one-legged Dirk. You feel? You see what I'm saying? Like a Kevin Durant. He don't got no mid-range like that. He don't got no in-between game off the chain main like that. He's I'm going to body you because I'm bigger and stronger than you, and I'm going to force near the hoop, and it's going to work because I'm an athletic force. But he can't do all that if the Achilles goes. So we gotta pay attention to see if the Achilles goes or not. We got to pay attention to see if the Achilles goes, because if that Achilles goes, it's not worth trading for him, bro. Honestly, it's not. Let me see what you're talking about. G Money says, same. One NBA title is better than none. I want to be at the parade. Facts. I'll do whatever it takes to get one ring. But if you trade for the Greek Freak and he don't got an Achilles, we ain't getting no ring. Straight up. G Money was like, true, Rockets do not have enough sprinkles for the Giannis cupcake. Thunder or Spurs are more realistic. And keep in mind, G Money, Thunder and Spurs are the only teams that I could think of right now. If the Giannis trade is made public, right, the way that the Luka trade should have been made public, bro, there's going to be offers out the wazoo. So the Knicks will get outbid for Giannis' services at that point. So it's going to be tough for the Knicks to trade for Greek Freak, but also keep a competent team that could compete for a championship. My boy Danny was like, my knee did the same thing when playing soccer. I'm still rehabbing today, arthritis and sugar honey iced tea. You see what I'm saying? I noticed the same thing, Danny. More and more injuries pop up for Greek Freak ever since that hyperextension in that playoff run where he pushed through it and won a championship. And still, right now, to this day, your leg ain't the same. Well, Giannis be getting a little bit injured more. And what is one of the things that I mentioned on the stream? I like players that don't be missing games. Well, Giannis be missing the games here and there. I know his impact is crazy. But how you going to help me when you making so much money in the salary cap and you not playing? Look at his team right now. He's not playing. He's a game misser, a little bit of a game misser, unfortunately. G Money was like, I remember Giannis got hurt in game 4 against the Hawks. You see what I'm saying? He got hurt game 4, and that impacted that series. The Bucks almost lost that series. The Bucks got a little bit lucky for 2 things. Number 1, Holiday and Middleton went crazy. Lopez stepped his game up too. But number 2, guess who got injured for the Hawks in that series? Trae Young. If Trae Young doesn't get injured in that series, who's to say the Hawks don't fully take advantage, beat the Bucks, and go to the finals, where I think they would have lost to the Suns? But keep in mind, in that series, Chris Paul for the Suns was also injured. Injuries be dictating who wins. Remember, I told you that ever since 2014. It's not about who's the best team. It's about DEPTH. Who has the most working bodies in June. That's why it's important for OG to stop missing games, Big Mitch to stop missing games. But because they're not going to stop missing games, it's okay to include them in a trade for a Greek Freak, while keeping Mikal Bridges, who does what? Doesn't miss games. You see where I'm going with this? We need non-game missers. Leads, yeah, 3-1, yeah, exactly. See, Daniel's talking about the football that I was talking about. Yeah, you know what's up. You're a bigger soccer fan than me. I think Mike Brown will do wonders in the Big Apple. Yeah, G Money, I think Mike Brown's going to be great here. I think that he's going to be a little bit more flexible, a little bit more willing to adjust. Small adjustments is what the Knicks needed versus the Indiana Pacers. They were the better team. They were the better roster. They had the better collection of players. The Knicks were not the better team, and it's because their head coach held them back. The Knicks head coach overplayed Josh Hart. Josh Hart was ineffective in that playoff run against the Pacers last year. Josh Hart needed a reduced role. He needed less playing time. Landry Shamet and Darrell Wright needed to play more. It took till game 3 for our head coach, Tom Thibodeau, to peep game. That's way too late. You had all season long, from Halloween all the way until up until May, to play with the lineup and figure things out like that. Not only that, Jalen Brunson had missed some time at the end of the season prior to the playoffs, and the Knicks were playing very well. When Jalen Brunson came back, the coach reverted to lineups that we didn't use when Brunson was out. And it's like, man, you basically going to end up handicapping us instead of expanding your wings. And basically, in game 3, the coach did what us fans wanted, which is play Shamet, play right. And then in game 4, he went back to playing hard 40-something minutes, you understand? Not playing Shaman and Wright, not including them in the rotations, and it just didn't make any sense. So rotations are ultimately why Thibodeau got fired. I think Coach Mike Brown is going to be a little bit more flexible with rotation. He's already shown it. Some games Deuce will start. Some games Big Mitch will start. Hart gets sprinkled in. You understand what I'm saying? Shamet gets sprinkled into the starting lineup. I think our coach needs to look at developing Huck Porty a little bit more, Ariel Huck Porty, one of our backup big men. But ultimately, I think that Coach Brown knows why he got the job. The coach before him was antiquated. He was not flexible, and he wasn't willing to adapt. And Coach Brown knows if you're not willing to adapt, you're probably going to end up getting fired. It is what it is. What did you think of Tibbs being canned? Oh, I loved it, G-Money. I loved it. It's exactly what the Knicks needed, because if you have the better team and you lose, then that's a problem. And that's what happened against the Miami Heat when they had, if I'm not mistaken, no Tyler Hero. The Miami Heat had no Tyler Hero, and they eliminated the Knicks with Jalen Brunson going berserk in games 5 and 6. The year before that was the Miami Heat year. And then the year where the Pacers eliminated the Knicks. Unfortunately, that year, the Knicks just had too many injuries. But last year, with the Pacers eliminating the Knicks again, I just broke down what happened there. Unfortunately, Tom Thibodeau helped change our culture for the better. That's a good thing. But him being stuck in his ways when it comes to distributing the minutes, it had to happen. He had to go. For this Knicks team to get to the next level, they needed a new head coach. It's addition by subtraction. Play the people we demand you play, or else you will be fired. He knew it. He being Thibodeau, and he still played Josh Hart 40-something minutes. Watching him play poorly, he still refused to put Deuce in the starting lineup. He didn't want to play Shaman and Wright. He wanted to get fired, and he got fired playing the players that he wanted to play. That's on him. Hey, it is what it is. Why you ain't say nothing in school? What, that I like soccer, Daniel? Because I just like everything, bro. But plus, I'm not a big-time soccer fan the way that I am other sports, but I am mad interested in soccer. I do be rocking out with soccer. Don't get it twisted. Do not get it twisted. If I'm not mistaken, what's it called? There's going to be some Daniel, there's gonna be some. Hold on, let me check my phone right now. There's gonna be some games for I think World Cup qualifiers. Correct me if I'm wrong. There might be some World Cup qualifying games. Not today, but is it gonna be this weekend? If I'm not mistaken. Hold on, let me check my phone. Maybe not today, cause I saw something coming up. Maybe there might be some World Cup qualifying games. Maybe I'm bugging though. So you let me know. You feel me? Maybe I'm bugging about that. My boy G Money was like. Exactly. Greek Freak relies on slashing and dashing to the hula hoop and rocking the rim. If his Achilles pops, it is good night, Irene, for the Greek Freak. I completely agree. And he said he agrees. Word. Good points, facts. That boy needs that athleticism, man. Stop playing. He said, stay healthy. If you do play an injured team, you gotta take advantage and take care of the injured team. That's a fact. Losing to an injured team is a huge stain. AKA, or she said, a la Jazz losing to the Clippers without Ibaka and Kawhi in games 5 and 6 in 2021. If I'm not mistaken, G Money, that's the game where Ty Lue out-schemed the Utah Jazz and basically he downsized the lineup and had Terrence Mann go to the corner. And I believe that was the elimination game where he sprayed Rudy Gobert to death. The Utah Jazz refused to either adjust their defensive scheme or just take Rudy Gobert out the lineup altogether. And he basically had to cover ground, cover the middle, cover the paint, and cover the corner. And Terrence Mann was gunning him down crazy. Sham has been huge for us. Yes, Landry Sham has been big for the Knicks. Yes, he has. And we would have never known that if Coach Tibbs was still the coach. You see what I say? Well, you see what I mean by how do I feel about moving on from that coach? I feel like it's addition by subtraction. It's a good thing for my Knicks. I agree. Coach Brown is way more flexible and goes 10 deep sometimes. Yes. I remember the first game of the season, if I'm not mistaken, he went 10 deep, which is a big deal. If you don't know what 10 deep is, TA Drinkers, that means using 10 players. You'd be surprised. The old coach for the Knicks refused to use 10 players. He used 7 or 8 players. And guess what that got us? A bunch of injured bodies as the season went on. You're crazy. Use your roster. That's what the GM is doing. He's getting you players that you would use. You complain about how you're not going to use Obi, how you're not going to use this. You're not going to use Cam Reddish. You're not going to use Kevin Knox. So they went and got you all these pieces that they expected you to use, and you continued to try and keep them on the bench and give them no playing time. You got to get fired. Get out of here. G-Money, I celebrated like the Knicks won a championship when Coach Tibbs got fired. That's how I felt. I was excited when we moved on from that trash coach. Danny was like, why you think Tibbs didn't want to change, though? Like, he's getting all the data. I'm sure people was telling him. That's just how he is, Daniel, that's just how he is. The president, Leon Rose, and Worldwide Wesley, they were going to the locker room during halftime and after the games during the Indiana Pacers series. I seen them. They were at the games in the crowd, and they were going in the back. So they got to see with their own two eyes what was really going on. I don't know if they were going hard as far as studying him for the other seasons, but for that Pacers series, he was coaching in front of the bosses. So we all see why he got fired. The bosses saw what the problem was. It was him. He had to go. He didn't want to change. Why would he not want to change? I don't know. But he got fired doing what he wanted to do. Play Josh Hart 40 minutes. Don't use Shamet. Don't use Darrell Wright. Don't start Mitchell Robinson. He took mad long to get to that move. He got fired doing exactly what he wanted to do. So I don't feel bad. I agree. Tibbs is a whatever. I meant to say Tibbs is a regular season coach. Tibbs is a mediocre head coach. Tibbs, like I said, shout out to him for helping change the Knicks culture, but we were not going to win an NBA championship with him because there are certain sacrifices that need to be made, and he is not willing to make that sacrifice. Just look at Leon Rose right now. He's conjuring up a plan. How could the Knicks trade for Giannis and still keep a competent championship-winning team? Sacrifices will have to be made for that. Players that I like will have to get traded. But what's the end result? Possibly, hopefully, an NBA championship. So if that's what the end result is, then it's worth it. I do agree that Tibbs brought joy and relevance to our team. I salute him for that. I just think New York needed a new voice and a new head chef. 10 deep pause. I probably said something that's kind of, hey, yo, you feel me? My bad. If so, my bad. G1 was like, heck, Mike Brown even plays Huck and Diawara sometimes. I want Huck and Diawara to keep getting a little bit of burn. You feel me? Keep developing them because last year, Brunson got injured, I believe, against the LA Lakers. He was cooking LeBron, cooking Luka, and I think we was in, if not overtime, it was the fourth quarter in the final 2 minutes. And this is when he shot, landed, rolled his ankle, and, he had to miss mad games. With that being said, the team offensively found their identity where, this person could do this person could do that. We could rely on this, we could rely on that. So now when Brunson comes back, we don't have to put the offense all on him. We could all keep playing how we was already playing and sprinkle in that killer in Brunson. We'll see what's up, man. We'll see what's up. To me, that makes teams better. If you could find out how to play good. Like right now, look at the Lakers. LeBron just came back. While LeBron was out, Luka was going nuts, but Austin Reeves has improved as a player. Now LeBron is back, and Reeves is still playing at that high level. That's going to help the Lakers play better because in the past, I believe 2 playoff runs for the Lakers, Austin Reeves was whack in the playoffs. That's why I actually don't think what the Lakers are doing is sustainable because Reeves, how he's playing right now, he doesn't play like that in the playoffs. When they get to the playoffs, Reeves has to step his game up and play a little bit like how he's playing right now, but we all know what they're going to need. They're going to need Luka to be crazy. They're going to need a big man because they got rid of a big man when they acquired Luka, right? They got rid of AD, but they're going to need LeBron to be LeBron. The playoffs is why LeBron is the best player in the league. He always gets to show you he's the best in the playoffs. LeBron, when you get to the playoffs, make sure you cook. Don't go out sad like you did last year against the Minnesota Timberwolves. You have a big man now in DeAndre Ayton. Go crazy in the playoffs. I'm not worried about LeBron being mid or being mediocre right now during the season. His 10-point streak was broken yesterday. So what? It's December. It's not important for LeBron to be a beast right now. It's important for LeBron and anybody who's trying to win anything in the NBA. It's important to be a beast in April, May, and June. It don't matter what's happening in December. Right now, the only thing that matters is getting your rhythm and developing chemistry with your teammates. And everybody finding their role and buying into what the coach is selling. And if the coach is selling you some junk, fire the coach. You got mad months. It's worth firing the coach now if your coach sucks and getting a new coach sooner rather than later. I remember the Cleveland Cavaliers did that with this overseas coach they had. They got rid of him. They got Ty Lue, and Ty Lue was able to mend the fences enough between Kyrie and LeBron, who were button heads, and he was able to find something with that team that they wouldn't have been able to find with the coach they had prior. They got rid of the coach mid-season because they knew what's up. That coach was a joke. And Ty Lue helped them win a championship. I know a lot of people going to say, no, it's LeBron going nuts and Kyrie going nuts and the shot Kyrie hit. Well, I believe that coaches handling personalities matters too. Just like a Phil Jackson having to deal with a Dennis Rodman. Can you believe that? That's crazy. Rodman's nuts. But it was like, but G-Money was like, true, Huck and Diawara do need a few minutes. I would use Dadier spots a little bit too. Yeah. I also want to see Dadier play a little bit, but if he doesn't play a little bit and that potential that he has is enough to throw him in a Giannis trade, then it works out for us. We don't even got to deal with developing him. You feel me? Daniel was like, I never understood why players dropped off crazy like that in the playoffs. I only see that in the NBA and NFL. I think it's because, you know why, Daniel? It's because nobody's playing back-to-back games on a Thursday and a Friday. Nobody's doing 3 games in 4 nights. Everybody's getting the same rest. And they playing the same team. And by the 3rd or 4th game, we know all your plays. We know all your moves, all your tendencies. You're not tricking nobody. You're not catching nobody off guard. So that's why you truly get to see, as a series goes on, damn, SGA really is nice. Damn, Luka really is crazy. Wow, Jokic really is special. Because the other team already knows what that dude is going to do. And they already know that team is going to go to that guy at the time that they do. And they still can't stop it. But a guy like a Reeves ain't that guy. And I'm not dissing Austin Reeves. Because if he could develop into that guy and be a legitimate third option for the Lakers, that makes them even more dangerous. Especially if their big man DeAndre Ayton could be a legitimate 4th scoring option for them. But so far, the 2 times I've seen Reeves get into the playoffs, He has not cooked. He has not been the AR-15. He's been a regular mid white boy that if I'm the Lakers, would not pay. His contract is coming up. So I'm just saying, if I'm the Lakers and I'm considering giving him a contract extension, I have to take that into consideration. Every time he gets to the playoffs, his play plummets. G-Money was like, true, LeBron, Luka, and AR-15 need to shimmer and shine in the playoffs together. That's a fact. If it's just Luka and LeBron, that team is only going to go but so far. They eventually will be eliminated by the Nuggets or the Thunder, in my opinion. But that ain't my problem. You see what my problem is, the orange and blue. I'm focused on trying to get the Greek Freak. I ain't worried about them Lakers doing what they got to do. Until my Knicks is eliminated, I don't care about the Lakers. I'm trying to have the Lakers go against my Knicks and smoke that LeBron pack. That's what I'm trying to do. G-Money was like, you are talking about the Cavs firing David Blatt to get Ty Lue in 2016. Correct. That was the correct move. True, in the playoffs, there are no back-to-backs. Exactly. And you know all your opponent's tools in the playoffs. Exactly. No, I caught this team. Oh, look at the Thunder. The Thunder right now, they have one loss, right? I think they have 20 wins, and they have one loss. The one win they got was against the Portland Trail Blazers on a back-to-back night. Ain't no back-to-backs in the playoffs. Same rest, same everything. Even playing field. Only thing that you got to worry about is, are your key players injured or not? So it is what it is, TA Drinkers. We're going to see if the New York Knicks can acquire the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. And when it happens, we're going to see what the Knicks give up. Hopefully they don't give up too much. Hopefully my Knicks can, compete for a championship. And if not, if somebody else gets them, hey, it is what it is. Unfortunately, we miss out. But like I said, it could be a lemon. It could be an Achilles tendon ready to rupture. I hope not. T-E-A-A-A-A. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And rock with your boy, man. I'm about to go watch some basketball in a little bit. Let's go Knicks. We finna smoke that Utah Jazz pack. Holla at your boy. Yeah.